Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Bloom Outdoors. So if you guys missed the video of the tires and wheels being installed on the truck, then make sure you go check that video out and you will see everything that happened in that video. And with that, it was the tire and wheel install as well as a little bit of trimming I did just then. So what I ended up doing right away after the wheels and tires got put on, by the way, the truck does have a 6-inch lift on 35s, 20 by 12s. It sticks out a good amount, but what I ended up doing was I took off this like lower spoiler or whatever you call it. It dropped down probably right there. Probably whatever this length is, it was another drop down length right there. So that's what I did in that video, as well as I trimmed a little bit of this up, like right in here. I think I showed it in that video, I'm not for sure. I'm pretty sure I showed that piece, the lower spoiler I took off, as well as I trimmed up a little bit of this. But since then, I went out and I drove it like that night and a couple days after and stuff, and I found some spots where I was rubbing, so I trimmed it up a little more. So I wanted to show you guys what I all did for trimming. As you can tell, when you kind of get up close, you can see this piece right here is cut. There's still a little bit of tape on there, but oh well. This went straight down, like right here, and then that extra spoiler thing dropped down to like right there, so the tire did rub on both of those, but I just cut this just at a slight little angle. I don't think it hit this before trimming even, but kind of just to be safe, I trimmed it up just a little bit just so it doesn't rub. I have not had anything rub on the front crash bar yet. If I find that I am rubbing on it, I will end up taking it out. I've heard of people cutting them out, but I don't see a point when I can see a bolt right here, and this is the bottom of it, and it's just literally held on by one bolt, so I don't see a point in cutting it when you can just unbolt it. If I do find that I'm rubbing on there, I will remove it and I'll tell you guys, but as of right now, I haven't found myself in any situations or issues to where I do rub on that. And I've got some clearance from that. Haven't found a situation like that yet, but if I do find one, then I will remove it and I'll let you guys know. But other than that, that's about everything in the front. The other side I'll show you, but it is literally the same thing. Front crash bar's in, and this piece was removed, and we just sliced that a little bit, just for a little bit of extra clearance. In the rear, not quite the case. If you guys know, there is a little, like a black rubber stopper piece, basically to prevent rock chips and stuff. And that thing went back to here and it came up like that. There's one back here. It's like one of these things. If you guys have the truck or a truck, yours probably has it, but something like that. It was right up here on the corner. So what happened was you turn the tire and it stuck out just a little bit too far to where you would have to trim that piece up all the way to back here, so I just ended up taking it out. I figured that would be a lot easier than removing it all the way to here and only having this one bolt hold it in. So I just removed it, put the bolts back in. It doesn't rub on the bolts or anything, but now there was kind of an open gap here, so I put some clear silicone in there. And I mean, like from right here, can't tell, looks just fine. It's when you kind of really get up in here, you can tell a little bit that there's some silicone in there, but that's fine. And then there's kind of a little bit of metal right in here. Had to trim a little bit of that, as well as this. I just sliced that right there. And then to make sure nothing would rust or anything, I just ended up taking a piece of sandpaper, scuffing it up and scratching down that metal and stuff. And then as you can tell, I took some black spray paint and just sprayed it over. It doesn't look too bad. When you really notice, like get up under here, you can see the paint and stuff. But I mean, I'm on my knees right now, like basically sitting on the ground, and that's where you can see it at. So when you're totally standing up, you cannot see this at all. But yeah, hard to get a camera in here to show you guys. But as you can see, right there is cut, right there is cut, right in there is cut. So It was more plastic trimming of just this piece and the removal of this front piece and this, and then a minor metal trimming like right here and right here and right here, just to make sure that tire wouldn't rub on it. I'll show you the other side. The other side is the same thing. Just cut a little bit right there in the front. Front crash bar is still there. And then same thing, removed this black plastic piece that was here as kind of a rock chip preventer. Removed that and then put silicone in here to make sure nothing will get stuck up in there. And then cut the edge of that. And same thing here, sliced right there, just kind of at an angle so the tire won't rub on it. The other side originally rubbed more than this side did, but either way, it still wasn't terrible. Just to make sure, but yeah. With this black piece that was on here before, I don't think this tire rubbed on it at all, but just to make sure they matched and looked the same, I ended up removing it, just because I want them to match and look the same and look dumb with this side having that black rubber piece on and the other side not, so I just removed them both. And then same kind of thing here. There was a little bit of metal right up in here, just kind of trimmed the edges up a little bit, and then just that plastic right there. So nothing too extreme. It's not like you had to take out the whole wheel well liner in the front or anything, but it was basically removing this piece down here, just barely cutting that, cutting this, a little bit of metal trimming right down there, and then sprayed it with some black paint, or I guess I used some sandpaper to scratch it down first, and then use some black paint to cover it up, make sure it wouldn't rust or anything. And that's all the trimming I've done so far, and that's all the trimming I think I will ever do, unless, like I said, I find myself in a worse situation to where I am rubbing on something and I find I need to do more trimming. Like maybe sometime I'll find at a certain angle or something, I rub on like the front crash bar, then I will end up removing that. But as for now, I have not found myself in a situation like that, so I'm just gonna leave it in. Other than that, I haven't had any other issues with the wheels or tires or rubbing at all. Nothing rubs in the back, obviously. And everything in the front, it should be fine like that. I think I've covered everything, but if you guys have any questions or anything, then drop a comment down below and let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching another video of Bloom Outdoors. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.